go through the sun. But the Nubians understood that the sun was talking about an actual sun. And I ain't talking about the sun in the sky. I'm talking about the sun we live on, see. And some of you are saying, what in the world is he talking about? Yes, the sun that we live on, see. You see, there's not an accident that the lava within the sun is the same as what you see when you look in the telescope at the sun in the sky. See, the story is about a sun itself, that sun that we look up in the sky. That's not the one we're talking about. We're talking about this one. But this one was once a sun, and it died, see, as a sun. And I know you need time to digest that. But it had to die as a sun. And the death of that sun is what the whole Bible is trying to talk about, that death and that resurrection of a planet. The planet is what we live on, but it was once a sun. Now, I know, if you've been conditioned all these years and you've been taught that this sun is a man, by the way, he has no history. You cannot confirm it, but you just believe it, see. And that is the shame of it all. You believe things you can't even confirm. And some of you are not even going to look it up because you don't care. You've been conditioned so thoroughly, see, that it doesn't matter that you can't confirm it, see. It doesn't matter that you can go and look it up and won't find anything, see. Even some of the real smart folks like Einstein and them went looking and didn't find anything, see. They couldn't find it because it's not there. Nobody in the Bible they couldn't find. Einstein said he looked for Moses, he looked for Jesus, looked for all of them, didn't find nothing, see. Historically, the only place you'll find them is in the Bible because this story is a story about the creation of a son, not of a man. It has nothing to do with men at all. Men and human beings are part of creation, but the story is not about them. The story is about the sun, because we all come from that. And all you got to do is think about it, because, without it, what would we have? See, we wouldn't have anything. You got to have that. That's very important. But it takes time to get that, because even me, I struggled, man, with that. When I first came into this, it was hard for me to kind of digest it. You can't just shake off stuff that's been on you for years and years and years, see. It takes time to get to the point where you can actually see that this is true. This is the way. And as I say, you can go to the church. You can't ask too many questions in the church. You know that. And you can go to the temple. It's the same thing. It's a very passive thing for the audience. They're conditioned not to ask questions. But on the other hand, you can call me and ask me questions because all I have is the truth, see. And so I'm very confident, see. The last 15 minutes of the show, when you call, you will see that I have an answer for you. When you're dealing with this subject, I have an answer for that. And we don't be representing nothing unless we can back it up 100%. And this is what I'm doing here today and stuff. I'm here for you. And if you have questions and stuff, ask them in the last 15 minutes of the show, which we have another 15 minutes before we get to that, and I will be more than happy to answer the questions because we're going to break bread together. That's a prayer. That's a form of prayer. And hopefully we can progress and move on. Now let's get back to this flood story. Even if you think in terms of, if those of you who can understand nature, not just in the human form, but in most of the animal world and so forth and so on, there's always this flood in creation, you see, and we think of it in terms of sperm, you see, and there's a whole lot of sperms that die, am I right? They die in that process, see, but one of them makes it to the ark and stuff, and in that ark and stuff you have that egg is the ark, and the egg is the same thing as the earth, you see, and that's why we have a woman in that symbol. Sister Betty Shabazz, as if we can bring this back up. See, she represents our goddess of earth, and she represents a woman just like yourself and stuff. It's the story of creation is not a big mystery, see. It's the same story, see. It's not a real big mystery. And that Noah's Ark, man, they dramatize that thing and make it seem like something so unbelievable. And it is unbelievable because it can't happen as, I think it was our third show we did on this series. We showed and proved that it's impossible that the ark was what you think it was. As I said, you got 50-ton dinosaurs that's 300 feet long, and I mean, the boat was only 500 feet. So even if you put two of them in there, and the Bible contradicts itself. Some places it says there's 2 of every kind, and some places it says 7 of every kind. I mean, whichever one you feel like believing that day. You know what I'm saying? But if it's 2 of every kind, because we want to get a Bible a break, because it really cannot back itself up at all. But if we just said 2 of every kind, you got 2 50-ton dinosaurs, both 300 feet long. They make the boat full, and even them you got to cram in there, and the boat is full. even before you get to anything else, you see. So we can't go over that again because we broke that down thoroughly on the third day of our creation, see. And if you still believe that story after, and if you watch that show and you still believe that that's a true story, ain't nothing I can do. I've done everything I can do. Now, as I said, Sister Betty represents that earth symbol. And she's just like you, sister. If you're out there in the audience, you're a part of creation, you see. And you can't have creation without a woman. The only ones that, you find that the Christians and these so-called, they're so-called major religions, they never have a woman involved in creation. See, there's always a God. He's a man by himself. But a man can't create nothing by himself. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is in nature. Uni means one, and verse means idea. It ain't nothing different. You ain't never seen it. It doesn't happen, see. It's always two. But this is a male society dominated. When the Europeans kind of took over and stuff, they put the male on top of everything, see. And so, everything in this society is based on the male being on top, see. So it's really not true. See, that's why we have 2 female goddesses and 2 male gods, see. I mean, it takes more than just a man to make a world. Let me tell you, it's always, the woman is always there. She's always there, But anyway, brothers and sisters, let's move on into this story of creation. As I said, you can look at life on any level and you'll see this flood in this part of creation and stuff. And I'm not dealing with it on a base level. I'm dealing with it on a high universal level. It's still a flood, and it's still this, one makes it and the others don't make it. See, these creative writers are writing a story that's way over our heads. And we're thinking it's one thing, but it's really something else. Creation is creation. No matter where you look at it, it's the same thing. But there are those that make it, see, and then they go on to life, see. You see? And that's really what the story is about. It's really not about what you think. Now, let's look further. If you think about it, God even rested on the 7th day. Am I right? So Adam rested, remember? Adam rested on the 7th day. And think about Samson. Remember Samson? Samson, when he got down there with Delilah, remember? He fell asleep on her lap. Did he? Didn't he? Okay. So all these things are the same story. They just told them with a different twist. And see, the twist kind of threw you off because you think it's like history. See, you're reading it like it's history, but it's really one story. See, and they're all trying to tell you in different ways and stuff. And it's something. Once you see it, then you say, "Hey, that makes sense now." See, and I know what I'm talking about and stuff because it takes time. And the old saying is, "As above, so below." See, the same thing that happened in creation, the big story, is the same thing happens on our level as well and stuff. Creation is creation. See, and so now. The whole fuss was this naked part, see. You remember the naked part? Okay, Adam is naked, and then that was trouble, you see, and he got some kind of curse behind that, am I right? And then you had Noah, who was our main focus on this series. He was naked. And that naked thing is where you always hear this problem, and the curse comes about after the naked part, right? Now, Samson, his hair was cut. Remember that? Now, it's the same thing, but you got to see what these creative writers was trying to do, see. He gets down there on the 7th level. This is the 7th level. And this is when his hair is cut, see. His hair is cut. But it's a very coincidental thing that Apollo was known as he with the unshorn hair. See, Apollo represents the sun. And see, in the Egyptians and stuff, they drew the sun with hair. You see? And they're talking about the sun and its rays. That's what it's talking about. And Samson is the same story because Samson means sun man. Samson is simply a sun myth. That's all it's about. So the clipping of the hair is when he gets down here. See, the clipping of the hair represents that period between the sun and the earth. See? And that period, you know of it in the Bible, is called Mesopotamia. But you look the word up. Mesopotamia means middle land. In the middle of involution and evolution. That's the middle land. That's where all the trouble begins and stuff. The sun no longer, it dies, and it becomes an earth. And even you who are staunch Christians and stuff, you know that Jesus died on Calvary, right? Okay, well, look the word up. I mean, for once in your life, please look the word up. Calvary means bald skull. That's all it means. And so the creative writers is telling you something really deep, but you don't get it because you don't look words up. See, if you look them up, you wouldn't have a problem with what I'm saying. So if you say, okay, everything down here on this level is talking about something bald. And don't forget Elijah now. Elijah, the little kids was mocking Elijah, and Elijah was on this point, he was going up. And when Elijah was going up, they said that they mocked Elijah, and they called him what? Read your Bible. It's in there. They called him bald head. That's what they called Elijah. See, but we're not talking about a man. All of this is about a sun myth. And so when the kids mocked Elijah, what did God do according to the Bible now? God sent some she-bears to eat those little children up. See? I mean, that's crazy for you to believe. I know I believed it too. But what kind of God would kill little children and stuff because they mocked a man that had a bald head? I mean, I know it's crazy, but we believe some strange things. I'm talking about, we just believe that a God can be that cruel to destroy children because they mocked, Elijah's bald head. But he ain't talking about a man. He's talking about this bald earth. See? And now we get back to Noah. That's what the whole bald thing is all about and stuff. He sees this naked earth. He ain't seeing a man. He's seeing a naked earth. Why? See, why does Noah see a naked earth? And we do have one more graph here, and I know I'm covering a lot of territory, but time is short, and we're doing the best we can. And I want to kind of introduce one other graph here, and this graph here represents these particular elements, what they actually mean. And see, Noah, I'm talking about Ham. You were talking about Ham because he's the poor guy that keeps getting blamed for everything, right? He's the etheric. Ham represents the etheric. And then you have the mental and the astral. These are the elements, and the mineral. These are the four elements. These are all we have. We don't have any more. See, we have the mineral, which represents fire. We have the mental, which represents water. We have the etheric, which represents earth. And we have astral, which represents air. Now, etheric is the key one, and I may have lost some of you. I'm sorry, because I am sort of kind of rushing this thing. But the etheric kingdom is the plant kingdom. See, the plant kingdom is the one that is supposed to serve the other two kingdoms. And this is what the Bible is talking about. It's really not even talking about people at all. See, the plants, if you think about it, what do we do without plants? We have to have plants. Animals have to have plants to survive, correct? It's all organized in the universe. Everything is in order. Everything depends on something else and stuff. Humans have to have plants. Why? They have to have animals. We can live off of animals, but we also have to have plants. There's certain vitamins and certain minerals and certain things that we need in order for us to survive. See, the plant kingdom is the one that is supposedly cursed, and unfortunately, black people for so many years have suffered because we believe that Noah's son, Ham, was cursed. That's what we believe. We really believe it, and the Europeans used it to their fullest so they can build a very rich world on this so-called curse and stuff. And I always tell people all the time, I have a business, and man, if I had free labor and stuff to work for me and stuff like they had us to work for them, I'd be rich too. I could see that very easily and stuff. So they use that curse of Ham, but yet you don't hear them talking about it today. So I want to know what happened, because there's an injustice that has taken place. And those of you who are preachers and reverends and so forth, call me and explain to me what other meaning could this mean. Now, Ham represents the etheric kingdom, which is plants. And see, you have his sons Shem, and you have Japheth and all of them. They're supposed to be these holy people. They were the ones that walked backwards, and they didn't look at their father. But I got something to read too. Let me see if I can read this. It may kind of share a little bit with this. This is a Greek myth, by the way. And I got a couple more minutes before it's calling time. And it says, Zeus, Jupiter to the Romans, becoming offended with his own creation, decided to drown the whole wicked lot of them, except Decathlon and Para, who had found grace in his eyes. These he allowed to escape in a boat or ark, which finally landed on Mount Parnassus. Here his chosen embarked only to look upon a bare and desolate world. That's that naked earth again. While wondering what to do, they heard a voice from heaven telling them to pick up their parents' bones and cast them backwards. This they did, and life sprang up to replenish the earth. Now, you can see the same story. See? And this is a Greek myth, and believe it or not, there's over 400 different versions of the Noah's Ark story. It's just that you never looked them up, see. Gerald Massey and stuff, who wrote a book of the comparisons of all the myths of people from ancient times and stuff. And as I said, the Jews, they had a lot of work that they can build from. See, they took from all these different ones and put together a Bible, and they told you it was holy, that God gave this book to a special Jew and special people, and you believe that, see. But yet, if you did a little research, you would find out that all these stories have been here for years and years and years, way before the Jews even got together and thought about putting a book together, see. And this is a fact. But, you may not believe me, but if you would actually look, you will find out that this story is not a unique story. You will find it in so many places and stuff. But it's talking about the story of creation. As it says, a bare and desolate world is what they found after they landed and stuff. That bare earth, that bald Elijah, you see, that Samson with his cut hair. And there's Noah and his naked self and stuff. All of this is just all a part of the story, but it has nothing to do with human beings. Nothing at all. And black people are not cursed, even though you can look in the Jewish encyclopedia and that's what it says. They said we were cursed with our hair and our skin and so forth and so on. In fact, not only that and stuff, we do have call-in time, but to make this thing even worse, we actually have something that we need to read if we got time, before you call. And this was a black man in 1930, just to show you how sick we were. Not just were, but we still are in many ways. But this is a black man this is how he saw this whole thing. He said, God gave it, he means religion, to Adam, and took it away from Adam and gave it to Noah. And miss, he's talking to an interviewer. He said, and miss, Noah had 3 sons. And when Noah got drunk on wine, one of his sons laughed at him. And the other 2 took a sheet and walked backwards and threw it over Noah. Noah told the one who laughed, your children will be hewers of wood and drawers of water for the other 2 children, and they will be known by their hair and their skin being dark. So, miss, there we are, and that is the way God meant us to be. We have always had to follow the white folks and do what we saw them do, and that's all there is to it. You just can't get away from what the Lord said. Now, this is a black man in 1930, and someone's interviewing him, and his name is Gus Rogers, by the way. And it's a sad thing that this is the way our people think. Some of them still think that way, that this is the way it's supposed to be, based on something the Bible said, which cannot be confirmed, because the Bible, as I said, is a book of mythology. But if our people are still thinking that way, and many of them do, they really think that they're cursed. But yet, we don't hear anybody talking about it. I mean, we're within the 15-minute period right now, and I've been here for six weeks, and no preacher, nobody, no authority on the subject can call me and explain what happened to the curse. Because this is the black man I just read. He believes it. He believes it. And it's a sad and unfortunate thing. This is why I do what I do. I mean, it's not something I have to do, but I feel like it's a crime. It's a serious crime that our people believe that they're cursed. It's sad when you come into a world and all of a sudden, you believe that you're a cursed people, see. And it's not an accident and stuff that we are quite poor, and we just really don't, because we don't understand the elements. We don't understand, and I wish I had more time because I can break it down and show you that the Bible is deep now. And in the Quran, the same thing. Both of them books of mythology, but they're talking about the story of creation, and you have to understand creation. For example, you have to understand, and this is kind of a sad thing. Even if you thought, getting back to Noah, even if you thought that what Noah did, now what did he do? What did Ham do, by the way? He looked at a naked father, and that's enough to curse him forever, curse his seed forever. Just looking at a naked father, and of course you said he laughed too. So, but Moses, if you think about it, Moses murdered a man, and isn't that worse? I don't understand. Looking at your naked father is worse than murdering a man? I mean, what is the book saying? I don't understand. You have to explain that to me, Mr. Reverend. I don't see how looking at your naked father and laughing should be so terrible an offense that your generations would be cursed forever and ever, according to the book. See, and I mean Europeans should think about this too. If that is true, see, that these generations should be cursed forever and ever, then what about what your parents have done to us? You see, should you be also paying for that, offense, that crime? Should you be the one punished today for what your parents did? I mean, we really have to think on all sides. See? We circumnavigate things. We look at the whole thing. Now, you, as a European, should think about that. If that was so-called fair, and it's definitely not fair. I mean, even looking at a naked man's body should not be an offense anyway to be cursed. And that's like saying Elijah, the little kids that mocked him, should have been eaten up by bears. I mean, you believe stuff like that, and it's no wonder and stuff you can't figure out things when it comes to this religious thing. And it don't matter if you got a PhD, because I know some PhDs, they can't figure it out either. So it ain't got nothing to do with intelligence, and I'm not knocking your intelligence. It's just something about that knowledge of truth. If you don't get it and stuff, like I said, you can read the Bible all day, but if you don't understand creation, you'll never understand it at all. It's just something you won't get. So, brothers and sisters, as I say, we got like 10 more minutes, and we're winding down because this is our last show of the year, and we're always happy to come. We want to take a moment to thank Comcast and thank Mr. Johnson, who is the person who runs the station, and we want to thank Mike, who has run these cameras for us, and all the people that have helped us along this journey, and we've enjoyed it immensely. And hopefully next year we'll have more time and we can come back and break this down some more, because there's a lot to this. And we have our first call of the evening, so I'm going to shift my gears and come down a little bit, and hopefully we can have a nice interaction with our community. Greetings, caller.
Hello. I'm reading that Sojourner Truth book. I'm almost finished. And I got the Stolen Legacy. And I'm into that. So I'm watching it.
Good.
And see you next quarter. When you coming on again?
Say it again.
When you coming on again?
Oh, we don't know for sure. We have to actually put in for more time for next year. And we won't really know until, probably sometime after next week we will know when we're going to come back on. But unfortunately, I won't be able to tell you. But if you can look out for, the advertisement, we will be back on and stuff. Hopefully it's soon. And we do appreciate you watching our show.
Okay, so then, I think last week somebody called about DVD or something, get at Barnes & Noble. I'm not sure.
You went to Barnes & Nobles to get what?
It's about a DVD. I don't know if it was your show or another guy's show.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, maybe it was somebody else. Okay. Okay. See you next time.
Okay, thank you. Yes, we remember the sister, she called us before, and I hope that she enjoys those books we had recommended. And like I say, our people, man, they went through some things. Sojourner Truth, man, she definitely had a great story to tell. And I never forget to tell people that she couldn't read and write, but yet you heard of her. That's something to think about, She couldn't read and write, but she said, I could sure read the people. And that is really powerful when you can read the people. We have another call. Greetings, caller.
Yes, brother. I know your season is going to end. I wish you were going to be on and come back when you will, but I just always appreciate, ever since you first come on, the knowledge that you bring as we circumnavigate. And I want to know, do you ever, aside from being on the program, participate in any programs teaching the knowledge that you're dealing with?
Yeah, well, I mean, anywhere I'm invited, I go. I do love to teach. There's no doubt about it and stuff. Sometimes, I have small groups. People invite me, and we sit around and we break bread together.
Okay.
So it's anywhere I'm invited, I definitely will come. If you want to just leave your information up front and stuff, I'll definitely give you a call, and maybe we could get together.
All right, I'll call back after you sign off.
Thanks a lot, brother.
Thank you.
Okay, we thank the brother for his call, and It's always nice to know that we have people out there in the audience that appreciates what you're trying to do, because basically all you can do is try, to do something. I love the fact that some people understand that passing the baton idea. Now, I showed you Malcolm, and I showed you Sister Sojourner Truth and Sister Betty and those types of people, but they're not actually with us today. So somebody still has to take the baton. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's a job that has been going on for a long time. We've been struggling to come up, and people have been knocking us down, and it's unfortunate that you have a lot of young people that don't understand that. They don't understand that the baton has been passed to them, see. And that they see the baton and they say, what's this for? They don't know what it's about. They don't know that people have sacrificed for them and have tried to enlighten them so they can have a better life and stuff. As I say, the people behind us, the sisters, beautiful sisters, their husbands were killed, you see, because of them trying to just help us to have a better life and stuff. So here we are. The baton has been passed to us, see. And we shouldn't look at it and say, well, what's this for? No, we should understand what it's for, that we all have something to contribute to try to help. And as we came on and we tried our best to try to enlighten our brothers and sisters, even if some of them didn't understand fully, maybe some of them did. Maybe some of them will take a little bit and grow on that, and that's all you can do. But I know that the baton has been passed on, and I know that I have to do something. So this is what I do, and I appreciate you watching and listening, and I hope that I was able to pass something on. And maybe one of these days, some of you listening out in the audience will have that baton, and you'll say, I know what I have to do. See, I know. Because it's just like the symbol of charity. Now, we had this symbol of charity, and I only got a few more minutes. But this one here, I'll leave with that. Charity is the most natural thing on earth. That's what I'm doing right now. This is charity. This isn't about money or anything like that. Money should not even be in the picture when it comes to this type of work. Money is here. This is a different thing. See, this is charity, meaning that somebody did this for you, see. Those sisters sacrificed their husbands. They did something for you. And you have to do something for them. If you don't understand charity, you don't understand life. I have another call. Okay. Greetings, caller.
How you doing, sir?
Fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing wonderful. This is my first time actually viewing your program on TV.
Well, that's good.
I'd like to make a quick comment. I'm not really disputing what you say. I will say I love the Lord, but I've studied the Bible quite well, and I do not recall seeing anywhere in the Bible where it specifically said curse was pertaining to skin color or hair.
Exactly. Hold on one second. Now, you probably didn't see it because you said this is your first time, but we actually broke that down. This was a few years ago. We showed all of the oral traditions of the Jews and all of the oral traditions of the Arabs, and all of them, when they began their slave invasions, that's what they had. That's what they used. In fact, in the Jewish Encyclopedia of Antiquities, you go look that up. It's hard to find it now. Some of those books is hard to find, but the Jewish Antiquities book explains the oral traditions of the Jews, and it talks about black people being cursed with curly hair, black skin, and they also talk about long, private parts as part of the curse. So that's a good book to read now, but in the Bible it's not. But it didn't stop those people from enslaving black people because of that.
Now these books that you're pertaining to right now, that you're speaking of right now,
yes,
they
sir.
was written sometime. The books that you're talking about right now,
yes, sir.
They was written like after the Bible, right? These Jewish books.
Well, the Jews still today have oral traditions.
Let me
going
explain
back.
Let me explain why I asked you that. I asked you that for one reason. This is what I believe. This is my personal belief.
Okay.
From what I've gathered.
Right.
I do not believe that the Jews that are in Israel right now are Jews.
Okay.
That's one. And I think the country which have formed there now,
yes,
the people that are in that land right now are not the original inhabitants of that land.
Okay.
In other words, I do not believe they are the original Jews.
Okay.
I think they're part
I hate to cut you off because you are getting to some strong points, but I got to wind down. But I hope that when we come on again, we can get further into it. But trust me, that subject is something very...
Right. You understand what I'm saying, though? I do not think that...
How long? Okay. Go ahead, bro. He said I can go ahead for 5 more minutes. Go ahead.
Well, I do not believe that the Jews that are in Israel are the true... See, they call them Israeli.
Right.
They don't call them Israelites.
Okay.
They don't reference them as being Hebrew either.
Let me recommend a book for you, bro.
Okay.
The book is called Deceptions and Myths of the Bible, and the author is Lloyd Graham. Lloyd Graham is an excellent scholar. And this subject, I've talked about it for the last 4 or 5 years, and it's a real deep subject and stuff. But I think if you want to really venture out and you want to read that book, or the Deceptions and Myths of the Bible, you'll find that there's no such thing as a Jew. But I got to answer this other call because he gave me a few more minutes, but they've been waiting for a while, okay?
I appreciate it, Doc.
Thank you, brother. I hope we see you next time.
Yes, sir.
Greetings, caller. Greetings, caller.
Hello?
How you doing?
I'm fine. How you doing, man?
Good.
Enjoying your show.
Thank you.
And I like that question that the other brother just asked you. Man, your show is awesome. We need it. We need it because we as a people have been taught the same thing for so long. We don't know nothing else until, I'm going to say this, until a prophet as yourself come along with the truth. When people come along with the truth, no one wants to hear it, except for a few. And I just want to say I appreciate you, man. Keep on doing a good job.
Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate that. Well, you know I enjoyed that. I mean, what's not to enjoy? That was a very good compliment, brother, and I do thank you. I do know that this subject's important. I do know that. And I mean, even if you just engage in the subject, the truth will surface. See, that's the point. See, and the brother, I love the fact that his heart's in what he's saying, but I know there's more to it. If you read more, you'll find out. And I've got a few more minutes, and if you do want to call and stuff, we do have like 3 more minutes. They gave us a little extra time, and we thank them for that. Now, but the brother, as far as the Israelites and the Jews and so forth and so on, the subject, Deceptions and Myths of the Bible by Lloyd Graham, he breaks that thing down so nicely and stuff. And when you finish that book, if you read it honestly, you won't even be thinking about Jews over in Israel because the whole thing is a lie. The whole history of the European world is a lie. I mean, they basically have robbed and raped and stole and to get what they have. And yes, they are powerful, but they got it in a very thievery kind of crooked kind of way. And the Jews over there in Israel, they're just a big lie. That's all it is. That's all that is and stuff. And if once you get into it, you'll see that it's nothing but a lie. But a lie can be powerful and stuff if people believe it. That's what Hitler said. Hitler said you tell a big enough lie and stuff, people will believe it. So I mean, you are very on to something, brother. But you look further and stuff, and you'll find out. Like I said, we've been dealing with this subject for years. And in the Jewish antiquities, see, it's not in there by accident. It talks about black people being cursed by Ham. And by the way, you must admit and stuff, for the last 6 weeks, I've been asking for the preachers to call and explain to me what happened to the curse. See, because oh man, I forgot to mention, there's a book that you really need to read. It's called Noah's Curse and stuff. Man, I don't know why I didn't bring that book up. But there's a book that justifies slavery, and it's called Noah's Curse and stuff, I don't have the author's name right. I wish I did and stuff. But it's called Noah's Curse. If you punch it up on your computer, you'll find out that there's a book that justifies slavery based on the curse. And that came from the church. See, so it ain't something I'm making up. See, so I mean, you can take it any way you want to, but there's a book that deals with all the justification of slavery, and this is the thing. And right now and stuff, brothers and sisters, we are going to end our show and end our year. And man, I just can't wait to come back because this is something I love to do. And at this time, we're going to close, and we'll come back soon. I don't know when, so we can circumnavigate the truth once again.
We declare our rank on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.